in. Welcome. I want to start by just saying how much I appreciate your efforts to get Big Pharma back on a leash, under control, particularly your efforts to stop direct-to-consumer advertising. I mean, there's just no reason that Big Pharma, in particular, should be getting federal subsidies to do this kind of advertising, which is frequently misleading, bad for consumers. So you and the FDA have been leading on this. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Let me ask you about something that I'm concerned about. The department recently elected to allow Title X grants to flow to abortion providers for another year. Let me contextualize this and give you an example from my state as to why this concerns me. You're going to see, I think, over my shoulder here, a poster from an actual provider, abortion provider in the state of Missouri. This is an entity called Beacon Health Reproductive Network. They just received about $8 million from a Title X grant. Now, Beacon Health, as you can see here, they do more than just refer for abortions. They also proclaim their support for all bodies. They provide gender-affirming care, including to young people. That's gender transition surgeries. These folks now, who, by the way, went to my state legislature and tried to prevent the legislature from writing in the difference between male and female, defining that in state law. They opposed our ban in the state of Missouri on transgender surgeries for minors. So that's the kind of folks here. They're getting now $8 million in taxpayer funding from the Title X program because of the department's decision. When can you tell me, when are we going to stop funding people like this? I don't think that this kind of entity ought to be getting federal tax money.
I agree with you, Senator. And, we paused those grants. These are 5-year grants. We paused them. There's a year left on them. And we looked at the litigation risk, and OGC advised us that it was very, very high. And so we're paying them out the last year. We're monitoring for Hyde Amendment compliance. We've just released NOFOs today that I think that are very aligned with your thinking, and I think you'll be very happy with.
What about the Protect Life rule, Mr. Secretary, writing that back into regulations that would prevent going forward, any federal tax dollars from flowing to an abortion provider or an abortion referrer? I mean, are you still pursuing that?
You mean outside of the Hyde Amendment's reach?
Yes, yeah. But for instance,
I'm happy to work with you on that.
Okay, good. I think that's important. I think that we should not be funding entities like this. And, personally, I think a litigation risk, I'd rather take the risk in litigation than subject children in my state to transgender care funded by federal taxpayer dollars. So I appreciate you working on this.
I think if you look at the new NOFOs, you'll be very happy.
Good. On a different subject, there are currently in the state of Missouri something like 60 data centers. We have many, many more that want to come into the state. I think there are 4,000 data centers currently being built in the United States. Over 3,000 are already in operation. When I go home now, I get asked all the time by people who are big MAHA people. I get asked constantly about the health risks around these data centers. And I honestly don't know what to tell them because I don't know what the science is. But I just want to rehearse this for you. I'm going to show you a picture of a data center. This is in North Kansas City. I mean, these are massive. This is going to consume, I think it's 700 megawatts of power. That's enough for 300,000 homes in 1 year. But I get asked constantly things about electromagnetic fields. This is like having, these data centers are like having multiple high voltage transformers all located in one place. Is that an increased cancer risk? I have people in my state who worry that it is, who are now living next to these data centers. They worry about decibel levels causing things like headaches, migraines, vertigo, other neurological disorders. My question to you is this something that HHS will study to look at the potential health effects here so we can get a handle on what is a health risk, what's really not a health risk, so that we know what we're dealing with when we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of these being built, not just in my state, all over the country?
Yes, sir. And I just want to say that I've litigated on this issue. We produced over 10,000 studies for the Court of Appeals, and I won the case to get FTC to redo its regulations on EMFs. And you're right, there's a range of injuries that are very, very well documented. They're neurological, very, very grave neurological injuries, cancer risk, and then just making the blood-brain barrier permeable so more toxins can get into the brain. The risks to me are horrendous. But we are, I've asked both ARPA and the Surgeon General's office to either do meta reviews or to do base studies on this issue so that we can better inform the American public.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.